Real life after 80, 5 brutal realities every senior must understand about aging loneliness. Hello and welcome to today's video. If you're 80 or older, or caring for someone who is, you know that aging brings with it some tough realities, especially when it comes to loneliness. And while it's something many of us try not to think about, it's essential that we face these challenges head-on so that we can live the best life possible. Today we're going to talk about the 5 brutal truths every senior must understand about aging loneliness, and more importantly, what we can do to prevent or manage it. But before we get into that, let's take a moment to recognize that this conversation isn't about feeling sorry for ourselves. It's about understanding the situation so we can take control of our well-being. So, let's begin with the first reality. Reality number 1. Loneliness can sneak up on you. You might have spent most of your life surrounded by family, friends, and coworkers. Social interactions were a part of your daily rhythm. But, as we age, those connections can start to fade for various reasons. Friends pass away, family members get busy with their own lives, and sometimes, even with all the technology at our fingertips, it's hard to bridge that gap. Now, I know you've heard it before, but loneliness doesn't just mean being alone. It means feeling disconnected, isolated, even when you're surrounded by people. That's something a lot of seniors face after 80, and it can have a real impact on both your mental and physical health. But here's the thing, it doesn't have to be like this. Awareness is the first step. The moment you recognize that loneliness is affecting your well-being, you can start to take action. So let's dive into what you can do about it. I know this is a tough topic to think about, but I want to offer you something practical today. We'll be exploring ways to help you create connections, stay social, and keep those feelings of isolation at bay. One way is by building new routines. When your daily activities change, you have a chance to add new things to your schedule, things that involve socializing or simply keeping your mind active. For instance, maybe it's time to pick up a new hobby like painting or gardening, or joining a class at a local senior center. Even a walk around the neighborhood, smiling at your neighbors, can help create little moments of connection. Let's move on to our second reality, which might surprise you. Reality number 2, you may start to feel like a burden to others. This is something many older adults experience, especially when they need help with daily activities or their health is starting to decline. And it's not easy to talk about because it's such a vulnerable feeling. But here's the important thing I want to share. You are not a burden. Sure, there may be times when family or friends need to step in, but that doesn't mean you're imposing on them. In fact, most loved ones want to help. It gives them a sense of purpose and connection too. We just have to communicate openly about what we need and when we need it. And more importantly, we also need to find ways to offer help and gratitude in return, no matter how small it may seem. Whether it's offering a smile, sharing a story, or helping with something you can do, maintaining that sense of mutual care is key. But let's take a step back because before we can truly connect with others, we need to make sure we're taking care of ourselves. Now, let's take a moment to discuss something that affects us all as we age, the foods we eat. As we get older, our bodies become more sensitive to certain foods, and sometimes the very things we love to eat may be silently damaging our health. So, let's go over a few common foods you should be mindful of, and what you can eat instead to keep your body feeling strong and healthy. First up, processed foods. They're everywhere and they might be tempting, but they are not doing your body any favors. At the age of 80, your digestive system isn't as efficient at handling all those preservatives, artificial ingredients, and excess salt and sugar. Processed foods are linked to inflammation, joint pain, and even heart disease. Instead, try to focus on whole, unprocessed foods. Fruits, vegetables, lean proteins like chicken or fish, and healthy fats from things like olive oil or avocado. These are full of nutrients that support your immune system, keep your skin healthy, and help prevent muscle loss, which becomes even more important as we age. Another culprit you might not realize is dairy, especially full-fat dairy. While it's rich in calcium, it can also contribute to joint inflammation, digestive issues, and high cholesterol. Instead, consider switching to plant-based milks like almond or oat milk. They're just as rich in nutrients but without the added downsides. You can still get calcium from leafy greens like kale and bok choy, as well as fortified plant-based products. Alright, now that we've tackled some of the tough realities of aging loneliness, let's dive into the third brutal truth every senior should understand. It's harder to make new friends as you get older. As we age, it's not just about losing old friends, it's also about the challenge of building new connections. When you're young, friendships happen naturally. You meet people at work, in your neighborhood, or through your children's activities. But as you age, the opportunities for new friendships can shrink. You may not be attending big social gatherings anymore, or your circle of friends may have dwindled over time. But here's the truth. Making new friends is still possible, it just takes a bit more effort and intention. You don't have to look for another lifelong best friend right away. Start small. Try joining local clubs or groups that align with your interests. It could be a knitting circle, a book club, or a walking group. The more you put yourself out there, the more likely you are to meet someone who shares your passions. Even if you don't meet someone right away, just being around others in a social setting can help combat feelings of isolation. And remember, it's not always about the quantity of friends, it's about having just a few meaningful connections. Let's move on to reality number 4. Reality number 4, your body is changing and it's not always easy to keep up with the pace. As we age, our bodies naturally slow down and things that used to be simple, like standing up from a chair or climbing stairs, become more challenging. Joint pain, muscle stiffness, and decreased energy levels are common. But here's something important. It's not about accepting a life of limitation. While we can't turn back time, we can absolutely adapt. Your body may be changing, but it's still strong and it still has the ability to heal and improve. This means that even if you experience discomfort, it doesn't mean you have to accept it. Gentle stretching, consistent low-impact exercise like swimming or walking, and regular strength training can help maintain mobility and manage chronic pain. For example, strengthening the muscles around your knees and hips can reduce arthritis pain, improve your balance, and even make it easier to get in and out of bed. And trust me, you don't have to join a gym or start lifting heavy weights to see improvement. Start with small movements, just a few minutes a day, and you'll begin to notice changes in how you feel. Take these simple stretches for example. You can do them right at home without any special equipment. All it takes is a little time each day. Your body will thank you. One tip I want to give you is to listen to your body. Something hurts, stop and rest. But if you feel just a little discomfort, that's your body telling you it's working to get stronger. Don't be afraid to take it slow and steady. And remember, small improvements add up over time. The more consistent you are, the better you'll feel day to day. Now, let's get to reality number 5, the final and perhaps the most challenging truth about aging: loneliness. The emotional weight of aging is real. Aging isn't just about physical changes, it's also about emotional ones. The feeling of watching loved ones pass, the gradual loss of independence, and the awareness that time is moving forward in ways we can't control can weigh heavily on our hearts. For many, these feelings can trigger sadness, anxiety, or even depression. And yet, there's so much we can do about this. Acknowledging these feelings rather than avoiding them is the first step toward healing. If you're struggling with emotions like grief or loneliness, don't hesitate to reach out for support. Whether it's talking to a therapist, joining a grief support group, or even opening up to a family member, you don't have to face these emotions alone. But here's something I want to remind you of: aging can also bring new opportunities for joy and fulfillment. It's about embracing the changes with an open heart. Seek new experiences like traveling to places you've always wanted to visit, or simply enjoying a cup of coffee with a friend. Sometimes, the smallest moments can spark the greatest feelings of happiness. I want to leave you with this thought: aging doesn't have to be a time of loss. It's a time of transformation. Yes, it comes with its challenges, but it also brings wisdom, resilience, and the chance to connect in ways you never expected. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that these 5 realities about aging: loneliness, and the strategies we discussed, help you feel more empowered as you continue your journey through this incredible stage of life. Remember, you're never alone in this, and there's always something you can do to feel more connected and engaged. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with others who might benefit. And as always, leave a comment below with any questions or thoughts you might have. I'd love to hear from you. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next video.